Welcome, everybody. This is our service on Cain and Able today. And you're wondering what about Cain and Able? Well, I can tell you right why Jesus. I've been doing some contemplating on this in the spiritual atonement of what we are. I want to read it to you. And everybody thinks that, why did Cain and Able, by the way, they were twins, why did one get favored more than the other? I don't know about you, when I was a little child, I read Cain and Able, and my grandma taught me that. And I felt bad for the one that was not favored from God. I was wondering why God didn't favor that one. Was it because we had to go through bad and good? It is. But I want you to look at it in a different way. Is it a higher consciousness level and maybe a subconscious level? Maybe it's the ego. One had to be born an ego and one didn't have to. Maybe one had to be in light of spirit. Maybe that's what it is. One was in chilling of the ground, which is your kundalini and your lower chakras. And then it's not the mental body. And the other one was in the mental body because all he had to do was attend sheep. He was in his presence, the spirit. The other one had to work in the ground. I want to read the story to you so you can get a little picture, and then we're going to get more in depth about what I'm trying to say to give this picture to you. And I'm reading from the Living Bible, by the way. Genesis 4, chapter 4, verse 1. Then Adam had sexual intercourse with Eve, his wife, and she conceived and gave birth to the son, Cain. Cain meaning I have created. For, as she said, with God's help, I have created a man. Her next child was his brother, Abel. You notice they didn't say years went by. They didn't say a few years. They said they're talking about the same birth. So they were twins. You guys get the idea of that now? You don't think of that, do you? But it's the truth. Abel became a shepherd, while Cain was a farmer. At harvest time, Cain brought the Lord a gift of his farm produce. And Abel brought the fatty cuts of beef from his best lambs, and he presented them to the Lord. And the Lord accepted Abel's offerings, but not Cain's. This made Cain both dejected and very angry, and his face grew dark with fury. Why are you angry? The Lord asked him. Why is your face so dark with rage? It can't be bright with joy if you will do what you should. But if you refuse to obey watch out. Sin is waiting to attack you, longing to destroy you. But you can conquer it. We'll go back to that subject here in a few minutes. One day, Cain suggested to his brother, let's go out into the fields. And while they were together there, Cain attacked and killed his brother. But afterwards, the Lord asked Cain, where is thy brother? And the Lord says, where is thy brother? And Cain says, am I in my brother's keeper? Where is Abel? I do not know. And then, am I supposed to keep track of him? And the Lord said, your brother's blood calls from me from the ground. What have you done? You are hereby banished from this ground, from you have defiled your brother's blood. No longer will the crops yield for you, even if you toil on it forever. You are now to be the fugitive and trample upon the earth, wandering from place to place. Cain replied to the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear, for you have banished me from my farm and from you, and made a fugitive and trample on everyone who sees me, and will have to kill me. Think about that. Anybody that sees him has to kill him. Are they really talking about Cain himself, or are they talking about what he has done? As I said at the beginning, I want you to think about what I'm saying in the metaphysical terms. The eagle comes from the ground. I create. That's Cain. Able means spirit, by the way. Okay? If you can look at it that way, in the metaphysical senses, that we have Cain and Abel being twins, being also in the light of I have conceived and gave a child, I create as Cain. Abel meaning spirit. When we create, we are taken from the lowest part of the new beginning of the Kundalini. And that's our base chakra Svaya. Spirit being able, if you think about it, all Abel had to do was be in the presence and just watching the world. What did Cain have to do? Cain had to actually work really hard, like we do as a man and a woman. We have to work very hard in life, don't we? So Cain had to literally till the ground, put the seeds in, water it, nurture it. He really had things against him. He had the weather, where his crops wouldn't turn out right. And all Abel's spirit had to do is allow it to be in the presence and watch and attend flocks of sheep. Now I'm looking at the mental body and the higher consciousness and the lower consciousness. I want you to take it on the concept of this. Cain being the lower consciousness, the beginning of our ego. Abel's spirit being in the higher consciousness. Now you're getting the bigger picture of why God was talking about Cain and Abel and why he kind of favored on Abel now. A little better, don't you? If you can do it that way. Because Abel was already born in spirit. Okay? And he was basically connected to the spirit realm, into a higher nature already. He was born into that vibrational body of frequency. He already knew his spiritual eyes were open. He already knew right from wrong. He knew how to please God. Without even the ego, he knew already, if I give God, I'm going to give him the best. It don't matter if I keep the best, because I don't need it. I can give it away knowing that I already understand it. But Cain was not there yet. Cain was born in a dense body I create, in the lower vibration, where he had to understand, and God gave him an ego, just like we are. We're Cains. Okay? What do we do with our egos? What do we do to ourselves? We're born in a dense body, and we are. We have to raise our vibrational body up to ascension. We have to incarnate several lifetimes, don't we? Now, I want to read when we talk about incarnate. I don't want to get you scared, but I want to also tell you why God said it this way. It says it here, and this will give you a hint in metaphysical terms, so you can think of it this way. Okay, I'm going to give you challenges here. He says, and I will tramp on the earth, wander in place. He says, you no longer will yield crops for you, even if you toil on it forever. You will now be a fugitive and trample upon the earth, wandering in place. Cain replied to the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear, for you have banished me from my farm, and you. Meaning, your ego, when it's taken away from you, when you're working in your ego, you're not working in the best way with Christ, are you? What did God and Cain, in his lower consciousness level, his ego, he's talking about, you were already away from me, Cain. When you tilled the land, you're working with lower vibrations. Abel here is working in the spirit. He's already in a higher conscious level, Cain. You weren't born that way. You have to attune your body. And it says it right at the beginning. I want to get back to when Adam and Eve had the sexual intercourse. It says the meaning, Cain, is I create. I have created. Cain is I created in the Bible, in Aramaic. So if you can take this and say, that they had created the first child, which was, the first child, was in a dense body. We are all dense body people here. We all got to work. We're all Cain, if you think about it. Cain is not bad. Not at all. Cain was a man, born in a dense body. Abel was the spirit, already in a higher consciousness level. The land and God, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, is all-encompassing. If you can look at it that terms, like Cain and Abel, where you can look at yourself, but you don't give up. And when God says you will be killed, he wants to kill Cain's ego. He don't want you to kill Cain. He wants his ego and his dense body to raise up. He wants to smarten it out. He wants you to raise up. He wants Cain to raise up. He marked him. Aren't we not marked? We are when we give birth. Don't we have birthmarks? And there's meanings behind these birthmarks, by the way. Just like Cain. Anybody have a birthmark? I know I do. Or you've seen people with birthmarks, maybe on their side of their neck. I have a strawberry on my back. I've been marked. I was a twin. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say is, he was trying to kill Cain's ego by saying, I want you to be like your brother, and your blood spilled for me. He already knew it. And he goes, am I not my brother's keeper? He was trying to say, you're connected. I felt your brother's blood on the ground. You toiled. You're the keeper of the toil, Cain. And you spilled blood in your own garden I give you. And Cain wanted to give Jesus the best vegetables. Now, you know Jesus wasn't banishing Cain because he didn't like vegetables. Come on, you know that, right? So what was Jesus trying to teach Cain? He didn't really abandon him. He was telling him, you got to go out until you go find yourself. We all got to go do it. We got to go find ourselves. We got to find us. We got to live our life the way we need to live it, like Cain, to go out to the nod. If you think about it. And nod in Aramaic means something different than what it says in the Bible. And I'll do a sermon on that. Okay? Because you don't understand what nod's at, do you? Because you've really got two babies that are being born, or twins. Then where are they? Hey, they go into the nod. Nod is another conscious level. Okay? I want you to look at these terms. I've given you foods because we're in spiritualism. Cain and Abel, we need to come up like Cain and raise our vibrational body up. We need to fine-tune like Abel to raise our spirit up. We got to get it. But we're all a work in progress, just like Cain and Abel. But when Cain banished him, he didn't banish him, he wanted to kill his ego. He's working with his lower entities. He was working with it. And then, let's get into this part here. I want a sermon on this where it says here, Genesis 4, where we were talking about earlier, when he was talking about his face. It says, Abel was a shepherd and Cain was a farmer. The harvest time Cain brought the lift to the Lord and produced, and Abel brought the fatty cuts of meat from his best lambs. And they presented to the Lord, and the Lord accepted Abel's offering, but not accept vain. And Cain's Abel grew very dark and angry, and grew dark with fury. He was angry. Now again, this is what I'm trying to say. He was working with his lower chakras. His mental body wasn't there. He wasn't fine-tuning himself. And Jesus says, and the Lord said to him, why is your face so dark with rage? What is the Lord telling him? You're not working in a better light here right now, Cain. Uh-oh. When you work in a very low, dense body attitude, he's even telling you, it can't be bright with joy if you will do what you will do. If you do what I say to do, to raise yourself up, it will be bright with joy. Get out of that dense body. Get to Abel's way of thinking. Get to the higher consciousness. If you do that, but if you refuse to obey, watch out. If you refuse not to bring yourself up in the chakras, sin is waiting to attack you longing to destroy you. The negative energies that you are in your dense body, creates more negative energy. Have you ever been walking into a store and you think, I'm the happiest darn mood there is, and all of a sudden you walk into a store and you're right there and you go, why am I getting angry? But you didn't know that 10 minutes ago somebody was angry there and it created a fussing and fight and they had an argument. And you didn't know it. And you're walking and all of a sudden you stand right there and by golly, why am I getting angry? What do you think's going on there? Them energies and that dense body energies, the residue energy is created a vortex there. And you tapped into that and it attacked you. Why did it attack you? Because you're standing there and your dense body energies are mingling together because you haven't. What are you doing when you're there? You're not raising your consciousness, are you? No, you can't. You're not understanding that. You're not meditating there, are you? As soon as you feel that, like the Lord says, He wants you to raise it up. As soon as you feel that, get out of that, get away from it, walk away from it. Raise your consciousness level up. That's what He was trying to show Cain, the lower energies of a lower consciousness. He wanted him to attain his Christ consciousness to a higher principle like Able, spirit. I don't know if this makes any sense, but it made sense to me. And I've been thinking about that. God really didn't abandon Cain. He wanted his ego to be like Abel. And He was telling him in this verse, raise it up. And we're all Cains. Because we're born in dense bodies. Because of Adam and Eve, what they did in the garden. Now there's another story on Adam and Eve in the metaphysicals, and I've been taking care of that and I'll produce that to you too. This is spiritualism, and it's metaphysics. I'm trying to give you some idea. So I'm trying to take the Bible to literally show you your lower insecurities and your ego, like the tiller of the land. Or you can be a spirit like Abel and be brought up into it. And yes, it says it in the Bible that you can be an Abel. You don't have to be a Cain. Okay? All you got to do is work on yourself, because God's always never abandoned him. He knew exactly where Cain was at, and He knew exactly where Abel's at. And you already knows that. He also brought you tools like the shepherds and stuff. He gave tools to Cain. If you think about it, he was born to till the land. He already gave him tools. He gave him a mother, father to teach him. He gave him the conscious level to wander, so he could have his guides. You don't think they were whispering in his ears because everybody's born with an angel? 2 angels, by the way. You're born with 2 angels. Okay? In the cachet records, you'll see that. There's always a protector, and there's always somebody to record your deeds. And it's true. You ever been taught that in Bible school? I have. But it's true in the metaphysics too. They have proven it. That's where they get that from. Okay? I hope I gave you some good food for thought about Cain and Abel. We need to raise our consciousness level up. So He didn't really abandon him. He took him and said, okay, you're my creation. Raise your Abel. Raise to Abel, the spirit. And be good. You can do it. It took me a long time to figure that out. And I've been working on that because I reread that Bible 6 or 7 different times, and each time like I said, my 7 precepts of truth, you take them on, you start changing. Well, every time you change, you read the Bible, and then the Bible changed on you. Now that I am more mature into my Cain and Able state of when I was a child, I was Madison and Peyton's age here, I felt bad for Cain. If Jesus was good or God did, why would He do that to one of the sons? I didn't even know they were twins, but they were. Now that I'm more into the mastering level of the mastering level, you can understand that consciousness to a lower consciousness, higher consciousness. We're all Cains. I hope I gave you some food for thought about that, because that's what I want you to teach you. We all can change, and we all can be like Abel. God wants us to. But what's so important about it is God says when why are you so angry? Don't let your ego take control of you. Raise above. Raise above. That's what God said in the Bible here. That's what the moral of the story is. You all could be that way. In the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, so be it. It is done. Amen.